This morning, as the country eagerly waits for a result from Saturday's federal election, vote counters have been accused of doing nothing to speed things up.
The Australian Electoral Commission officers spent yesterday apparently sitting around drinking cups of tea as Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull revealed 3 million votes were yet to be processed. So let's bring in our experts on this, Shelly Horton and Ken Sutcliffe, to discuss. Shelly, one rumour suggested that the vote counting had been suspended because of lack of official letter openers, I should say.
Okay, so that's just really mean and a really harsh way of putting it. My dad worked the election and he was helping, collect votes on election day. He ended up working until midnight that night. Now, they were supposed to be finished at like 8. So they all worked past their regular time. The issue is anyone who's actually involved in the counting has to have done the full course. They have to have had a police check. Like, you can't just go, we need whoever to come and do this now, because it is a process. I know this is incredibly painful and it does seem very archaic. And another thing that my parents mentioned was the Senate paper was so long that they actually had to count it out on the floor because the tables weren't long enough for people when they were counting.
Oh, that's some good planning there.
So it is really quite archaic.
I have actually just realised that the official letter openers are people. I thought they were like letter openers.
Oh, I thought that too.
Did you?
Yeah. And it just fell on the ground and then somebody came along.
So where's the letter opener? We can't open it.
We can't open it until we get the letter opener.
Therein lies our problem. I mean, it is such a complex system we have, a complex system for our way of governing people.
Would you be able to do this electronically?
Well, I would have thought so.
Estonia.
Why don't you just first pass the post? Oh, well, you can't do that. No, we've got to make it more complicated than that. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And I got to say, they deserve a couple of days off. You start counting those votes and the things that are written on them.
And the mistakes will be made.
Human error.
The complexity invites error.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. And radio host Sam Frost has admitted to feeling broken by online trolls, relentlessly bullying her. The former reality star tweeted Monday night, "If you want to break me, congratulations, you have won." #broken with a little heartbroken emoji there. Ken, Sam says the trolls were digging into her personal life.
Yep.
What do you reckon? She should just block?
I mean, we're all built differently. We all get insulted differently. But when I get somebody who's negative or starts to swear on Twitter, I just hit the block button. That's all I do. I don't go any further.
It's like a mafia hit online. That's great. Boom.
And then I reply a little later on if they get, I find that it's got through for somehow. I said, I know where you live and I'm coming to get you.
Oh, Kenny. Okay.
I'm just going to reply, Kenny's going to get you.
Yeah.
Kenny's on my side.
I joke.
To me, I think what this kind of says is that Sam hasn't probably been in the industry long enough to have developed a really thick skin, because eventually
you do have to have a thick skin.
You do have to have a thick skin, but at the same time, when it's constant and when it's just a barrage, it does wear you down. I saw a psychologist about it when I was trolled recently, and he said it's part of human nature. You remember negative comments 5 times more than you remember a positive comment.
That's true.
So if you are the sort of person who takes that to heart, then it is going to affect you.
But isn't it better not to read it then?
But even if you're blocking it, you have to read it. So you can't not read it to block it. So it is very hard, and we are living in a society where there are these cowards behind a computer who would never say anything as horrible to your face as they do on Twitter. So I think that we sort of have to be gentle a bit with Sam, and I think that she needs to know that it's okay to go off social media for a while, have a break if she's not feeling mentally stable, and that's okay too. Like that's an option. Yes. And then come back when she's feeling stronger.
I do feel there has to be somewhat, and I'm not talking about I'm not pro-bullying in any way, shape or form, but if you're in this industry, there has to be some tough love to her to say, like, honey, your whole life's been in the public eye. Yeah. And you need to start developing a tough skin, because I'm apparently...
You're smug.
I'm smug.
He's smug and I'm overrated.
Yeah.
So, but you've got... You always
both are kind of true.
You always have to find the humour in it.
That's a pass. You've passed. You've done okay. I mean, if that's about as it comes, you've done really...
It gets worse than that. It gets far worse than that. Of
course it gets worse.
But the nasty little minds, they're not worth acknowledging.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Listen, you get a real name, come on to Twitter and debate me whenever you want, but if you don't, you live in your parents' basement, you get stuffed. All right, Shelly and Ken, thank you so much.
Go.
That's all trolls are, Kenny.
All right, in our next hour, Oprah Winfrey celebrates the